2 books.
Yeah.
Ah, you started with this one.
So
It's okay for you both to be wrong.
the most contentious book to ever be on Books Boys, The Hobbit, by Tolkien.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yes.
The worldwide bestseller. That almost makes it bad already. So tell me about The Hobbit.
So,
Go for it.
go ahead and hurt yourself a little bit more, Dean. Get that yeah pulled up.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Are we giving it a yeah? I'm in physical pain.
Just barely. Just barely a yeah.
Okay.
So,
I thought you meant just barely physical pain. Discredit my pain.
it is the best book of the year.
Oh my. I need a doctor.
To be fair, it was the first book of the year.
Okay. Is it about to not be the best book of the year after you review your second book?
Yes.
Good.
You didn't read it, though, did you, Dean?
No.
Okay.
So, okay.
God, no. Offensive?
Jesus Christ.
Right, tell
Now
us
I'm-
about this trash.
Stop it. Don't listen to me.
I think actually he would empathize with Bilbo at the very beginning of the book, because people just, like, he says to Gandalf, like, come around another time, I'll invite you over for tea. And then Gandalf invites, 12 dwarves to his house who come, like, little by little.
Oh, you are Bilbo, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's just like, who are all these guys coming to my house? Why are they here? Why do I have to serve these people tea? They're eating my crap. God, I want to get rid of them.
Okay,
He's
good.
mostly hiding from his relatives and neighbors and, like, all of this.
Yeah. Well, at the very end of the book, they try, like, stealing his stuff
Yes.
because he's
Let me
been
see
gone for a
How long
bit.
is this book?
It's a short book.
So that is including the first chapter of...
I want to know this. Why
It looks like big enough text as well. It looks, you know.
Yeah.
Alex
So-
is going to say why he really liked it. Why do you think you wouldn't like it?
But it has the first chapter of Lord of the Rings in here as well.
Okay.
So it is only
Just to make it worse, I guess.
350 pages.
Okay, that's not too bad. I just don't like fantasy that much. This is like peak fantasy. It's the ultimate fantasy. I mean, even though
Really
I
liked
don't,
it as strong.
I've seen the movies. I didn't like them. It's not the type of stuff I like to read. I'm okay a little bit with some fantasy, low fantasy more. I know this is not the type of thing I would like.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably yes, because there is not a ton of dialogue as well. It's very much description. It's a lot of, not a lot, but some world building, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
there's dialogues as well, but the dialogues are very, very...
I'll tell you why I gave it a yeah. Because it was a fast read. I was able to read it in like 3 days, and it was enjoyable enough to get through that. The reason I just barely give it a yeah is because when you think about it, it's not a great story. So both people are right in a way. I had enough fun with it, but the dwarves are completely useless. They go start their journey because they're trying to get their area back that was taken by a dragon, and then they get captured by trolls, and then Bilbo saves them from the trolls, and then they go travel a little bit more, and they get captured by goblins, and then Bilbo has to save them from the goblins, and then they go a little bit more, and then they get captured by spiders, and then Bilbo has to save them from the spiders, and then they go a little bit more, and then they get captured by forest elves, and Bilbo has to save them from the forest elves.
Is it just repetitive?
Yes.
Okay.
It is like, these dwarves are so useless. I really hate them as part of the book.
I really enjoy this book for various reasons.
Tell me why you like it. Why do you like it?
I like, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I like both of these books. The things that I want to say about it, in its defense, because I understand your criticism of it, a lot of it is based on, for example, the narration of it is based on Norse mythology, right? So if you think of a sort of...
The narration's the best part, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the storytelling as we think about it, sometimes if you read mythological books, it doesn't follow the same sort of thing. So there will be some characters that are just background characters. They're not that important.
But it's 12 of the 14.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand
If they
that.
made like 4 or 5 stand out, and it's like, well, you got these others in the background, I can get it.
Yes.
Thorin is our main dwarf,
Yes.
and he's there, but he doesn't do anything except
At the
at the
end.
very, very end which Bilbo faints for.
Yes.
So he doesn't even see what he does.
Is this leading into Lord of the Rings? Is this like a prequel?
I'm
or...
going to tell you this. So the thing that Tolkien did, the reason why he wrote The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is because he wanted to create languages. He's a linguist, right? So
Cambridge professor.
His main goal was, I want to create a language that evolves during time. And he did this with Elvish, basically. And with other languages in the book. And that was his main goal. The Hobbit is his first novel that got published.
What, 1937 or something?
Yeah, he wrote it for his kids. He was
this is a children's book,
a fairy
generally.
tale that was wrote for his kids.
37, yeah.
He showed it to this publisher, and his publisher is the first book that had any success, right?
Mm.
And off of this, he created Lord of the Rings afterwards, merging some lore that he already had, some of the languages he already created.
Yeah, okay.
So the things to me that are amazing in these books are the world building. Like, the world feels like this could be an ancient mythology that was just brought in the modern time.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels so incredibly real and incredibly well crafted and incredibly interesting.
You feel a bit of that going through the different forests. You feel the dark and uncomfortable feeling through a lot of it, which I think is quite good bit about it. But then, like, the defeating of the dragon. So the dragon flies off to, like, destroy this town because the dwarves are stealing things from the dragon, basically, or Bilbo stole something. And then we're introduced to a character for the first time in the chapter after the dragon flies away, and he's the one who shoots down the dragon. It's like, so the dwarves don't even do that.
I see that.
Oh.
But then the goblins from the very beginning come back at the end, and then there's a huge battle. This is the Battle of Five Armies that you might have heard about. And so Bilbo gets knocked out, and so we don't see the battle really at all. And it's the only time the dwarves actually do something.
Okay.
So I'm like, this just seems so unfair to the dwarves.
It's the story of Bilbo, right? So
it is.
It is, in that sense, okay, that's why it feels that way. But I see that criticism, I understand.
But Bilbo is also not somebody, like, Gandalf's like, you should bring him along, he'll be a good thief. And Bilbo's like, I've never stolen anything in my life. I'm just a random guy.
This is something that I love about both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The main characters are not... Like, it's not the big hero. That's a thing that I love. It's like, oh, they're just people, right? And they go to do these incredible things, and they just have to...
I think that's fair to an extent, but it feels anticlimactic with a lot of it.
Okay.
Where it's like, we have this big bombastic... We have a dragon we need to go defeat, and they're useless at every single bit. Bilbo lucks himself into it, and I like Bilbo. I actually do like Bilbo as a character, because him working with Gollum, for example, coming up with, like...
Amazing.
That is a fun bit. He goes through, like, 6 different riddles, and this is where he gets the ring to go invisible and stuff, and that type of stuff's quite interesting. But I just wish that he weren't surrounded by just bumbling oafs.
I think part of it is because it's a children thing, a story for children.
That's the other thing.
They're kind of like, oh, these are characters that are kind of charming, but maybe they don't do that much.
Does this make you want to read Lord of the Rings?
I got a little bit of an urge.
Okay.
But also, I've read it before when I was in, like, 5th grade and didn't like it. Maybe it was just because I was too young. But I don't know. I don't see myself doing it for a while unless I have to.
Okay. I mean, based on what you're reading now, I just assume that we're going to have Twilight next month or something, you know?
Stop it! These two things are not
No.